Oh my God, I've got a new bike, I've got a new bike. Right, what's the first thing you do when you buy a new bike? Yeah, that's it, you throw a load of money at it for accessories. And that's what I did. And there's a lot of them to go through. So, where do we begin? Up here. Oi, it's my seat, you cheeky monkey. Right, what's this rubbish? So, to the first thing then. What was the first modification I made? So many things I had to make a list. Right, so here you go, here's the first one. Starting with a genuine Honda part. So, when you turn the bike on, let's have a little look. So, I'll go like that. And then the screen, look, I can do the heated grips up on the screen because these are Honda parts. So first off, I installed these myself. Go and watch a video I made. Are they any good? Yes, I think they're awesome actually, and they work really well. So that's cool, and they cost 200 euros, something like that. So what we'll do is, we'll do a little list, euros and pounds, and then at the end we'll find out how much money I've wasted. Right, the next thing on my list were these hand guards. So these are the standard ones. Ignore that little bolt, that's for something later on. What I did was, I took these off because they're quite flimsy and rubbish, and I replaced them with these ones. And they are actually from a KTM. Perhaps you can see the logo, I'm not sure. And these are actually from a KTM, as I say, and they're actually from my last bike, which was the KTM 890 SMT. And I bought some orange ones to go on that bike, and these black ones were left behind. All I had to do was make a little modification. I'd cut a section off here so that they don't foul the bodywork, and had to drill out that hole a bit bigger. And beyond that, they fit a treat. So not only that, they're definitely a lot sturdier than the standard Honda ones, and they cost me, let me look at my list, about 65 euros, so 50 odd quid. Bit of a sort of, I only really did it because I had them in the shed, but they're definitely better than the Honda ones. Right, what was my next mod? These things, foot pegs. And these are the Honda ones, and they flap like that, and then they can also, if there's a little silver bit there, if I put my foot on it, they also stay up on their own. So that's quite handy, just push them back down with your foot. Now, they are very expensive, check my list. Yeah, they're gonna be like, I don't know, 400 plus euros, so 365 pounds, something like that. It's a lot of money for a set of pegs. Now, what you could do is you could go on the internet and get yourself some from AliExpress or Temu, and they look a bit like this. And to be honest with you, so I did do a video on this as well, and they just flip up and down, so they kind of go up and down like that instead of going backwards. So if you fell off, they'd probably just snap. So that's the first problem. The second problem is you don't really want them to sit up like that on their own particularly, unless maybe you're servicing the bike. So my advice actually was, don't bother with these cheap Chinese rubbish ones and get the cool Japanese ones that were made in Spain. I think that's what it said on the box when I bought them. So that's the next one, very expensive one, but nonetheless a very good modification. Right, we're back up at the front of the bike again, and actually this was another modification I did. I never made a video on it because there isn't much to make a video of, but R&G as the branding, it was quite expensive. I think it was about 50 euros or more even, and I have seen them a lot cheaper since then, but I think I just was on a website and I bought a bunch of things at the same time. So, yeah, this is what it is. Does its job. It's going to protect the radiator a bit. There is some gubbins in there that wants washing out, some flies and stuff. It was very easy to install, 3 bolts and a zip tie. What's next? Right, next on my list was the crash bars. So, I made a bit of an error in this one, and I bought these. I can't remember the name of them, but I'll post that. And they were a disaster. Do not buy. If you're going to buy them, just spend the money and get the Honda ones, because what I had to do in the end was basically cut them in 2 locations, one there and one there, elongate that, because otherwise the bar goes like this and your foot gets in the way, And then they had this sort of weird bracket here, which meant that you couldn't actually put your foot on the peg. So my suggestion is to just go for the Honda ones. Now they cost me, where is it? Crash bars, 140 euros. And at the time I was really miffed because I'd spent 140 euros on some crash bars that were basically junk. So avoid them if you can and just go for the Honda ones. Incidentally, you might notice these bits of mess. So I'm toying around with the idea of putting another little bit of bar. Let me just putting another little bit of bar on there, welding that on, just for a bit of extra falling over in the mud security. Not really totally sure about it as yet, but I've got it all ready. It's all sort of been faffed about. I might weld them on and just see whether they offer any extra protection or not. So that could be another video for another day. Crash bobbins, that was the next thing I installed on my bike. And these are from Puig or something, can't remember. Done a video on them, obviously. And the way they work is that there's the front ones on the bike. They just literally thread through the spindle inside. You can see here on the back one, this is the back one. It goes through there, bolts up one either side. What I will say is this is a threaded bar that I put on. The one it came with was so skinny and flimsy that actually it threaded out on about the third time I removed the rear wheel. And I've got to be completely honest, I'm not even sure I'm going to bother keep them on. So I'm not really sure if they're going to do much in a crash. Because, well, I don't know. The thing to do is lay the bike over in the mud and see what happens. So that might be a video for the future. Crash bobbins, 60 odd euros a pair, 120, 130 euros for these. Quite an expensive one. Oof. Right, next up was this rear hugger from Xadv. Now, although it actually looks kind of quite nice on the bike, I've recently just took it off and replaced the original chain guard back onto the bike. Now, a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, this hugger does next to nothing. It is basically just for looks. You will still get your bike absolutely covered in rubbish and crap. That said, you can see underneath, I mean, it was like catching some of the flick off the chain, and a little bit of the road muck, but essentially it still gets chucked all over the bike. Now, how much is this thing? Let me check my thing. 160 euros for a mud guard that doesn't actually guard from mud. Unless you like the look of it, and a lot of people are buying them for the look, I'd just leave it as it was and just get a little bit muddy. So one more thing is this screen. So this is an Aoocci. I did actually bring the box out. Hold up a sec. It's an Aoocci C3, and I think my one is called a Pro or something like that. And pretty inexpensive. I know that other YouTubers do also think that these kind of screens are pretty good. There's loads of videos out there. I've got a discount thing on one of my videos for you if you want one. Aoocci C3, they do a lot of different ones, but this is the one that I went with, and I went with it because it's one of the smallest ones with the smallest amount of functions. And all I really wanted to do is show me the maps, and that works through your phone. So it's essentially a matter of just finding where you want to go. Pop, other hand, press start, and now it's running through the little screen on your dashboard. And that is it. You can listen to your music through it, through your Cardo or whatever you've got. And I think they're about 50 quid, 60 quid, not very much. I'll be honest with you, I got sent mine, so I have no idea how much they actually cost because I never actually bothered to look. But I know they're not very much, and can I recommend them? Yes, I can. I mounted mine down here because I don't really like things up there in front of my face particularly. And you're able to hear what's going on. So you get the Google prompt lady in your ear. So this is really just to flick your head down a little bit and follow the map when you really need to, like in a built up area in a city or something like that. But there you go, Aoocci C3. I can highly recommend one of them for your X-adv as well. See my video on how to set it up through the world of stuff, it's somewhere. Right, the next crazy thing I did to the bike was add these stickers. And these stickers are from Motoprowork, as you can see there. And they make stickers, and they're quite cool actually. What they are is they're kind of like a laminated vinyl, so they're quite thick. And what they originally were made for is dirt bikes. So you'll see these on a lot of dirt bikes, a lot of KTMs and stuff like that. And the reason is because obviously you want to protect the plastics for as long as you can on those dirt bikes. And it means that if you have a bit of a crash, you can just peel the stickers off and replace them. And the best thing is Motoprowork actually offer a replacement system. So what they do is they keep your sticker set on file. Like let's say you've got a custom design, custom number, whatever it is. If you then scratch that bit and you only just want that 1 panel, 2 panels, 3 panels, whatever it is, you can then contact them. They make up just those 3 panels for you and send them out at a discount. So it's kind of cool. And I really like them. I had them on my SMT, and because of that, I went to them and said, hey, would you be prepared to do the sticker set for my bike? So what we did is I rode all the way to Sweden, and they sort of like manually scanned the whole bike. And this is what they came up with, a sticker set specifically for the 2025 and 2026 Honda Xadvs. As far as I'm aware, they actually do one for the 2021 to 24 version as well. It might not necessarily be on their website, but they do it. Now, this particular sticker set is customized to me, and obviously it's like got glitter in it because my daughter chose that, and it's got my DDS logo, and basically it looks a bit whoa. And that was intentional because I'm a YouTuber and I want to get people to talk to me when I stop on my motorbike, and it actually works quite well. A lot of people go, oh my god, look at your stickers. So that's the reason why I went for this kind of weird get up. You obviously do not have to have the same as me. You can have some nice plain colour if you want. Or you could just get, what you could do, like you could be a bit like a PPF, although they do actually do PPF. You could do it the same colour as your bikes. If you've got a black bike, have them done in black, and that would mean that all your body panels would be protected. And if you did have a bit of a scratch or something like that, you could just peel that off and replace it. So I really like these stickers and I can highly recommend them. Motoprowork sticker kit, available not quite yet. I think maybe March, April, May of 2026, they should be online. If you contact them directly, you can get them ordered, I suspect, for whatever you want, and they'll custom make them to whatever you want the image to be. And somewhere I've got a 10% discount. Quite often have a discount already flowing on their own system. So check out which one gives you bigger discount, whether it's theirs or mine. It's not an affiliate link. I don't earn anything from it. It was just a little 10% off from me to you that they agreed with. So go and get some stickers. And they also do stickers for a lot of other bikes. So check their website out. I'll put a link in. Great stuff. Stickers, awesome, love it. Right, this seat is my second best performing video on the X-adv, and it's because I think it's the modification that everybody wants for their bike. They want to be comfortable, me included, and I've got to say it is a very comfortable seat. So it's sort of two-tone. It's got this sort of anthracite-y kind of material here, and then it's got a leather strip going around there. It's a tiny bit taller than the standard seat, which is up there hanging on my wall, which I graffitied with my logo. Won't be selling that. And I can highly recommend it, although it is very expensive. It's like 300 quid for a seat, something like that. And basically, if you spec that from like when you order it and you spec it, they get delivered that seat up there and then swap this seat. So I think if you do that, they should give you both seats. So you want to check that when you order a bike. I ordered it afterwards because actually at the time you couldn't really get many parts for this bike when I ordered it. So I fitted that. As I said, I've got a video on that. It's well worth a watch. I do mention it in other videos that I've done as well. And it's because it's such a good seat, I can highly recommend it. My daughter and my wife have been on the back and they both tell me it's very comfortable. So it's a big old thumbs up for that one. What else did I buy for the bike? Right, on to the last item on the list for today of upgrades that I have bought and I'm still using on the bike. There's going to be a second part to this video of upgrades that I bought that I haven't used on the bike. So here it is. It is a Shad mounting plate and rails for a top box. Top box in question is this one, and this is a Shad top box that I actually bought for my old KTM, but it was quite expensive. Let me just quickly show you. So it's already, oh, monkey, what are you doing in there, cheeky monkey? It's already pretty massive, but then you can undo these little flaps and lift it up. I don't know how easy it is to do with one hand. There you go, lift it up, and it's now way bigger. So pop them flaps back in like that. Now it is a humongous box, and I also forked out for this nice sort of pad that goes on your back. So that was all extra as well. Pretty sure the box was like 300 or 400 quid all in all. So quite a lot of money, but nonetheless a very good bit of kit. Now I had a bit of drama because, as you can see, this is actually a KTM part on the back here, and I was not able to find anything that I could convert from one plate to the other plate. So I actually ended up making sort of this bit on the back, and it's got like a bar here, and it's actually got a stainless steel plate up there to hold the weight. And it fits pretty well. So I did have to modify it a bit, and I will say that this rack doesn't fit the best. It was a bit of a jiggery pokery to get it on, bearing in mind it's literally 4 bolts. So would I recommend it? I'd recommend it if you can find the right setup so you can use this case on your bike. Beyond that, I think the Honda one is actually brilliant. I had it on my 350 Forza, and to be perfectly honest with you, it is fantastic, especially if it's keyless as well. So I don't know if it is for the X-adv. But nonetheless, the rack that you get with the Honda one just replaces the original handles, goes on there, and it's just the box fits on exactly the same way. But you can have it with side cases. So there are other manufacturers that do the side cases and the top boxes. I think Shad is one of them. But Honda, in my opinion, do it very, very well. So that is a win for, I think it's a win overall. I think that the Honda branded box and stuff are very, very good, but there are some others out there like Shad that do it as well, possibly for less. So it's worth looking. Right, that concludes this episode of modifications. What do we call it? Modifications or upgrades? I don't know what people call it. Stuff that you spend your money on to chuck on your motorbike when it was already probably too expensive in the first place, and then you justify it by not telling your wife. That's the stuff. So anyway, that's the stuff that I've put on the bike and I've still got on the bike. As I say, there's going to be another episode and I'll show you a few things that I bought and were a bit naff. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.